Hello there, my name is Anna Lundberg. I'm the founder of One Step Outside, author of Leaving the Corporate 9 to 5 and host of the Reimagining Success podcast. And this week I want to talk to you about how to be more disciplined. And specifically I want to dig into that battle between our present self and our future self. And just to illustrate what I mean by that, the classic example maybe is, do I stay in bed? That's my lazy present day self. Or do I get out of bed and go off and do a HIIT session to exercise and get fit? That's my future healthy, strong self. Do I buy this handbag? This is my present self who wants this pretty handbag. Or do I invest that money in my pension? Do I save for a rainy day? Do I eat the donut now, or do I eat the carrot because I want to be fit and healthy again, and so on, right? So money, exercise, healthy eating, these are all very classic examples that I'm sure you can relate to. It's the same thing with, on a more metaphorical level, I suppose. Do I stay comfortable in my job where I'm, ticking over, it's okay, I'm quite enjoying it, it's comfortable, I know what I'm doing? Or do I mix things up? Do I step things up? Do I go for that promotion? Do I change industry? Do I start setting up a business for myself? So it's the battle between my present day self, which is always going to be very much present, very much in control, versus the very much more theoretical future self that we're not really familiar with. Now, ideally, in a wonderful high-tech world, we'd have a time machine, we could go forward into the future and we could see ourselves living out on the streets because we haven't saved for our pension, or being fat and unhealthy, or worse, let's face it, dead. And that would really help us to go, ooh, this is something I really need to concentrate on. Now, I'm saying this a bit flippantly, but of course it's really important because these are, to a lesser or greater degree, very important decisions we need to do. So we do need to find a way to channel that future self without the time machine, unfortunately, and try to take actions that are going to make that future self fitter and stronger, happier, healthier, and so on, whatever those goals are for you. So of course the first thing has to be to work out what it is you want. I have a quote that's just over here on my piano that says, discipline is remembering what you want. So in order to be disciplined, we really need to understand what is our definition of success. Of course, you know me by now. What is our why? What is it that we're working towards that's so important? Why is that important? Why are we committed to that? So of course, there's lots of tactics and techniques we can use in terms of having an accountability partner, a kind of commitment device where we publicly tell the world and we have a forfeit if we don't do this and whatever it might be. But those are all sort of short-term solutions. They're not really internalizing these goals. We're letting someone else help us and control us. And I think it's really important to look at what can we do to really internalize these things, make them as habitual as brushing our teeth every morning and evening. I don't have to persuade myself to brush my teeth anymore. I'm going to do it regardless of how tired I am and how many other things I'd much rather do. So how can we take our big, audacious, hairy goals, as they're called, and break them into smaller steps, but also consistently show up? And these are the kind of things like working on a book instead of just doing some other sort of busy work that we have. We talked about the busyness epidemic last week. Or let's say working on your business, your startup, your side hustle, when you could be just taking a break, or you could just be doing the easier work in your day-to-day work. It is getting out of bed and exercising when you could just be lying in bed, and so on. Now, this is not to say that we shouldn't be sometimes watching Netflix or staying in bed for a lie or whatever it is. However, you need to really ask yourself, how important is this big goal that I'm claiming is something I'm working towards, and how committed are you to actually working towards getting more disciplined, and above all, making it into such a habit that you don't even need to be disciplined to move forwards. So how can you make that future theoretical self more vivid? And it could be a picture of yourself. We've talked about vision boards before, that can really help you, a reminder. But how can you really hold on to that future, visualize, imagine what it would be like to be that published author, to be a business owner, to be on that stage, whatever it is that you're dreaming of, however secretly. What would it feel to be that person? How can you remind yourself that you are that person? You could be that person if only you take those little steps every day. And as you know, I'm a big fan of taking those one little step every day consistently over time can really lead to massive transformations. So we'll be looking at this in more depth over on the podcast, the Reimagining Success podcast. A new episode out on Thursday. As ever, you can search Reimagining Success, but I hope you're subscribed, so you'll get the new episode every Thursday. You can visit the website as well at reimaginingsuccesspodcast.com. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts as we explore this battle between the future self and the present self and getting more disciplined. I know, not such a fun and sexy topic, but so important to get to that fun and sexy place where you want to be. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.